Hello, Karen.
Hey, Ruth.
So we've actually just finished a call with our current basic needs of babies group, and yeah, it's our second course that we're running, and we're about to begin our third round, which will be beginning on the 10th of January, and we'll share the link for all the information and the booking details if you're interested. Those who are watching and listening are interested. But we're basically more deeply exploring with each session another layer of the basic needs. And we've just come from a session where we were discussing the basic needs of the newborn, as well as the mother, as well as the family, the layers that kind of surround the newborn and the mother. And yeah, there were so many nuggets, so many beautiful nuggets that really came from this discussion. But for me, yeah, one of the things that I'm really holding is the importance of that holding. You know, just when I spoke about now the mother and the baby at the center, and one of the things we spoke about was the importance of keeping them together. That actually they really need to be viewed and seen as one being still after birth. So even though they've separated physically after birth, there's still this transitionary phase that actually needs to take place for a number of weeks after the birth, or for as long as they need to, actually, where mother and baby really are seen as one and treated as one, and allowed, and an environment created where the separating almost takes place more organically, more naturally. And I'll always go back to that beautiful saying, which I've said to mothers so many times. For the first few weeks after birth, imagine that your arms are the womb and that your breast is the umbilical cord. So to just continuing that environment of the womb outside of the body, outside of the mother's body, while the baby integrates the environment through their senses, which are just so alive and so awake and so alert to everything and sensitive to everything. Yeah, that's what's coming up for me at this point. And my cat is agreeing by swishing her tail in my face.
That was beautiful, that caress that she gave you with the tip of her tail. Wow. Animals are so sensitive. What is it that Michel Odent says about cats and birthing?
Well, one of the things that he talks about is that if you are present at a birth and you're unsure as to what to do, find a cat and copy what the cat will do. And it's really, that information has really been so valuable for me. I've used it a few times at births, but I remember the first time I used it, I was at a birth where the parents were quite anxious for me to guide them and tell them what to do. And I could feel that it was just creating this tension in the birthing space. And so I actually excused myself to go to the bathroom and hid in there for a bit, kind of going like, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And then I slipped out into the garden. The sun. And I decided to go and sit with her. And I went and sat in her little patch of sunlight, a little bit awkwardly, because I definitely wasn't as comfortable lazing about in the sun as she was, while there was somebody in labor in the house. But she taught me quickly, and the sun relaxed me, and I began to slowly melt into the lawn. And before I knew it, I was, also lazing in the sun with her. And yeah, and at some point the mother came out to ask me actually what it is that she should be doing. And so the question I asked her was, well, what do you feel like you should be doing? And she said, well, I'm actually quite tired. I feel like I want to sleep. It was definitely still early labor. But well, it sounds like that's what you should go and do. And she said, she kind of breathed out a sigh of relief, like that she didn't actually have to be doing anything. So the cat and I lazing out in the grass in the sun gave the mother permission as well to do what it was that she needed to do, which was to rest in that moment. And the baby was born much later on in the early hours of the morning.
Oh, that just reminds me of, the Montessori teacher story, create an environment where the children can do everything they want to do, that they choose to do, and you don't have to do anything because you're sitting quietly like a cat in the corner of the room, just wagging your tail so that they know you're there, you're watching, you're happy, you're with them, and that they have your full permission to do whatever it is they want to do. So the Montessori midwife is like a Montessori directress or a Montessori guide in the classroom, doing as little as possible and letting a mother birth her baby. Help me do it myself.
Absolutely. And I think that's definitely what we're trying to create through this course, is to really give people an opportunity to really make that imprint for themselves. What does it feel like to be given the space and the permission to explore and do things for ourselves? And so we've really created a space and an environment which is very explorative, which allows for a lot of freedom of choice, allows for freedom of movement. So we've really tried to underpin those Montessori philosophies, which are so crucial to really allowing for that true learning to unfold. And so we've created a prepared environment, but for adults. And yeah, the idea is that we can embody this practice so that we know what it is that we are actually giving to the newborns and the mothers that we come into contact with.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an opportunity to be the Montessori student as an adult, to choose for yourself and to be responsible for your own learning and to find what you want to learn, and yet to have it presented to you in a way that there's a rich environment to explore. So lots of links and videos and resources, and that little tail caress is precious. She knows exactly where that tip of her tail is at all times. So yeah, we just really wanted to invite anyone who might want to go on this adventure with us to join in on this next course, our third edition, starting January 10th. And as Ruth said at the beginning, we'll attach the links for the website where there's more information, description of the topics, and the registration link as well.
Yeah, and while this environment, is there for people to explore at their own pace and at their own time, they're also able to be part of a community that meets on a regular basis. So for the 6-month duration of the course, there will be a meeting every 3 weeks where we get together with a group that is exploring that environment, and we do then discuss topics and and explore those topics further. So yeah, I think it's a beautiful weaving, and I'm looking forward to this next group as well. And I'm loving the current group, and it is, and it's a continued deeper learning for both you and I think the more I immerse myself in this, I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to continue learning in this environment and about this particular topic, because it really, in so many ways, it feels like the most important work. And so I'm really, really grateful to have the honor to be doing it. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
And to be doing it with
you. Yeah. We just had, as Ruth mentioned, our last call with the group that we're working with right now. And one of the people said something about how important it is for us to speak out about this, as Ruth said at the very beginning, this unity of mother and child at the very beginning of life, and that separation of the two into the one into two is something. It happens in a moment only the mother and the child can know, and to just be missionaries for this kind of unwounding of humanity, because in a sense we are wounded at birth when we're separated for whatever reasons it happens, and more than any other time in the history of humanity, we really need to be healing. We need to be healing our collective, and allowing our babies to come into this world based on what their basic needs are, and the moms that are bringing them as a gift of this person into this world, honoring her basic needs as a woman, as a mother. Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you, Karen.